probably saw all the movies on this list. Going right to 10, I didn't see this number 10, Shark Night in 2011. Did you see that?
Shark Tank. Hold on, let me pull up this so folks can follow along here.
While you're pulling it up, it'll say the ratio of alpha to minnow when it comes to shark movie is lopsided towards the negative.
Shark Night, 2011.
Night, yeah.
No, I have not heard of this at all.
Shark Week obsession to the max by attaching cameras to ferocious shark is like it's great white sharks jump out of the water, decapitate a dude on a wave runner. The original theatrical billing was Shark Night 3D. Spells the in early 2010s horror vibes going for that popcorn entertainment. But I guess that's how unmemorable it was that they really, I just read through that and I have no idea. I was like, did you just tell us what the movie was about?
Yeah, but again, you're right. There's so many friggin' shark movies.
Yeah.
It's easily for them to slip through the zeitgeist.
Here's a question. Are sharks at night scarier than sharks in the day?
Everything at night is scarier than the day.
I mean, that water is dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, I told you, man, and it's just like Jaws is in our brain. Like we had a lot of irrational fears thanks to that movie. Like, what if somebody comes by in a helicopter and dropped a shark in the pool and you didn't know it?
Yeah.
Like, that's not rational, but we got that feeling. I would even say it influenced stuff like Nightmare on Elm Street, where, you know, she's in the bathtub and then his hand comes up. If you notice, his hand kind of comes up like a fin. I think it's just psychologically we went to that primal fear of sharks that Spielberg created that were not really rational, but it's in our psyche.
Yeah.
But anyway, when I jumped in the water in Hawaii and you just turned and that ocean is just so vast, in my mind, that picture of Jaws 3D with that slow shark was coming at me. I swam really fast. I swam really, because at that moment, that picture was no longer funny.
A JPEG of a shark coming at you?
It was just so scary that it was just like, yep, this is really happening. And I got the hell out of that water. But anyway, yeah. In the day, it felt, and if that was at night, I don't even know if I would have went in the water, period.
Yeah.
Do you go in the ocean if you can't see the bottom?
I don't know, dude. Some folks do. I think if you're one of those coastal folks, you live out there, you're probably not scared.
No.
You're used to the beach.
Bro, when I used to go to Puerto Rico in the summers, thinking now, like my grandfather, like he used to swim so far out, you can just see his head. Like now it's just like, I wouldn't even go like past your waist. I'm like just like boogie boarding in these little baby waves.
Yeah.
But people just like go way out there.
Yeah.
And he just did that without a second thought. All you'd see is just his head. I mean, I don't know, man. It was a beautiful beach, but thinking back now, I was like, I don't know if I would do that. But again, maybe he didn't watch Jaws. So number 9 on the list, we've already talked about it. Jaws 2 actually made. So Jaws has double representation on this list. Next up, which is kind of weird, and I have not seen this because we haven't talked about the original one. Number 8 is Deep Blue Sea 3. Which I have to assume that Deep Blue Sea is on here, but would you say that Deep Blue Sea is the second biggest shark franchise out there that people know? Beside?
No, I think now it's the Meg.
The Meg.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Deep Blue Sea Deep Blue Sea, I remember it was okay, but that movie only works because of the Sam Jackson gets eaten part.
Yeah.
That's the only reason that movie works. If not for that, that movie would have been lost to time.
I could see that. I mean, they went with the pretty strong gimmick of just like, you know, Over the River and Through the Woods was talking about this. Like, what if the sharks became smart?
Yeah, smart sharks.
Like, do you remember the pitch for this, right?
Yeah.
Jurassic Shark?
Was that what it was?
They said Jurassic Shark because you had the velociraptors and the sharks kind of felt like that in the water.
Yeah.
And didn't the lead get whacked? Like she got eaten, right?
I don't know. I don't remember who dies in that movie. I just know Sam Jackson, that shark jumps out of a tube and he's gone.
Yeah.
After giving like a rah-rah speech.
Yeah. And that shark was pretty much on this tippy tail, the tip of his tail, like he was so far out of the water, he looked like Jabberjaws from the. You remember Jabberjaws?
Yeah.
The most futuristic shark you've ever saw?
Yeah.
Jabberjaws? I was just like, how did you get so far out of the water and get back in?
Jabberjaw.
I was in a Jimmy John's today getting a sandwich, and the sandwich artist was asking customers, what are your irrational fears? And the girl next to me in line said sharks. I was just like...
People still fear sharks.
Yeah.
Sharks, clowns.
Sharks.
People will never stop being afraid of them.
Dude, don't make a live pitch like that again before we IP that.
Here we go. Clown shark.
Clown shark, right? Just like we're at clown college that happened to be near a coastal town. They sneak out of the school to go swimming at night. Yeah. Oh, man.
It's like Terrifier and Jaws. Clown shark.
Dude, as soon as Sci-Fi starts watching our show, we got jobs because we got so many pitches for them. Clowns versus sharks. But yeah, Deep Blue 3 is number 8 on this list. Yes, there are 2 Deep Blue sequels, Deep Blue Sea sequels. Deep Blue 3, why can't I say it? Deep Blue Sea 3 significantly rebounds after the franchise blemish that is Deep Blue Sea 2, returning to its original sharky goodness.
Okay, well, I have had no idea. Maybe I'll check it out. Check out. I never saw part 2 either. So
yeah, I only saw the first one. Number 7 on the list is the Meg. Like you said, you just talked about it. I mean, that is basically Jason.
And this is basically Jason Statham fighting the shark from the Jaws poster. That's kind of the pitch for this movie. Every time the oversized, huge shark from the Jaws, every Jaws poster, is brought to life and fights Jason Statham. So,
how is it so just believable? Like, we're talking about, most people have irrational fears of sharks, but people are like, man, if Jason Statham would here, we have nothing to worry about because he would fight a shark.
Yeah,
that just sounds like such a stoner thing. I'd fight a shark, but it's very believable, right? Because I feel like the second Meg was actually even a little better than the first one. Right?
I didn't see the second Meg. I heard it was good. Had a good director attached to it.
Maybe that was why.
Yeah.
But yeah, they definitely got into Skull Island, Jurassic Park feeling, where they just started getting in the deep waters, in the trench, and finding these prehistoric things that were way bigger. And the Meg was smart, and it was trying to figure out how to breach that trench to actually come up into the water. But really good. Next up, this is actually a terrifying one. This is from 2003. We've talked about this before. Based on a true story, maybe? Open Water?
I do remember Open Water. Yeah, that was a big one. That was like a Sundance movie, I think.
Yeah, it was.
Like, that's when around 2003 was when video cameras started becoming really high quality, and they were really gettable. So people started making video movies, and it was the genre for a while. And so basically you're on a deep sea diving expedition on a boat, whatever, and the boat leaves without you, and you're just there.
You're just in the water,
and that's it. That's the whole movie.
This was this found footage, kinda ish, right?
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't found footage. It was done as a narrative. It just shot on video, so it's got
like you're just trying to record your vacation and you got it all, right?
No. It's not found footage like that.
Okay.
No. They're not out there drowning and filming. They're like, we're about to die. That was I don't know, but no, that was not that. But I mean, I think that had already kind of become a genre, so this felt like that, but it was more of a narrative movie.
Yeah, and this, that now I remember, this was 2003. The big deal about this one is they were using real sharks.
Okay.
Yeah, they were using real sharks when they film. Open Water strives for authenticity by going with real sharks rather than computer-generated beast.
Well, they're shooting on video, the cameras. They don't have any budget for CGI sharks.
Yeah, filmmaker Chris Kentis and his wife / producer Laura are avid scuba divers and wanted to generate as much natural behavior to the film as possible. That means they also serve as cinematographers, relying on the scuba obsession to ensure what is shot by their standards. And that's what made it feel more real than its kooky entertainment-focused counterparts.
Yeah.
But
I remember it was a disturbing film.
it was.
That was one. I mean, then they made a few of them after that because the premise was good. But
It was a great premise for sure. But just even as simple, like, all right, so put sharks aside. You're in the water. Even just a kind of a larger, like a fish this big biting you is going to be pretty disturbing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't even need to be the shark. You know, like Mayor Vaughn said, you yell barracuda, people say, huh? What? I mean, but if a barracuda was actually in the water biting you, you're not going to be like, I'm going to stay in the water. You're on their turf.
Yeah, and that's not just the sharks. I mean, the sharks are almost like that's the cherry on the horror sundae, but there's just being stuck in the water for hours.
Yeah.
And your body, you're running out of the strength to keep floating. You haven't eaten. The water is soaking through your flesh at this point.
Yeah.
Your flesh is getting soggy and soft and penetrable.
Yeah.
From all the salt water. I mean, it was a lot.
There was a lot, like you said, that's a good way to put it. The sharks were like the main event, but there's a lot of other terrifying things happening at that time. Just think, you can't really drink salt water without getting sick. And if you're floating in the water for that long, it's going to seep into your mouth.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get to that point where you're like, okay, eventually let me just go underwater for a little bit because I'm getting tired, and then I'll swim back up. Then you'll go lower, and then you swim back up. Eventually, you're going to just start getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
But, that movie was really, really disturbing. So I'm not surprised it's on that list. And like you said, it was a great premise, but it was a independent festival film, art piece, whatever you want to call it, compared to these other films on here.
Definitely.
Number 5, which I did not see, was Bait. Before Crawl trapped family members in a flooded crawl space with alligators during a Cat 5 hurricane, Bait trapped patrons and workers inside a supermarket with agitated great white sharks during a freak tsunami. And this was 2012. So I don't know if this was like an attempt of like the Sharknado. But they were capitalizing. Is it as good as Crawl, sitting in a strange subgenre of when animals attack in trapped locations during freak weather accidents?
Yeah. I've never heard of this at all.
No. Oh, and did I mention the tsunami interrupted a robbery, so criminals and clerks must work together against swimming killers?
Swerve.
Wow.
I mean, it sounds like a great premise.
Yeah. Really great premise.
I could get into Bait, sure.
2012. Bait and Crawl double feature while swimming in the water? Okay. Let's do it. Then we had 47 meters down. Did you see this? I remember this was Mandy Moore's jump into the shark genre. This was 2017. I do remember seeing this in theaters.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah. Really did enjoy that. Exactly what it has. They were in a cage, the shark cage. Cage goes in the water. Shark's in the water. Our shark. And they get trapped at the bottom. The cage drops down, but they do have their oxygen tanks. But now that the sharks are around there and they're in the cage, and they have to figure out how to get to another cage to get oxygen and then swim back to the top, not getting eaten by the curious sharks that are already surrounding them. You know who else was in this? Loudon Swain was in this.
Who?
Matthew Modine.
Oh, Matthew
He was
Modine.
in there, and like this is his homage. He was actually wearing a headband like this, and I was like, wow, he's trying to play homage to, like, he had that Quint feel. So I don't know if we have to pull up an image of that, but that was pretty cool that he was in there. I enjoyed that cameo. But yeah, 47 meters down, that was back in 2017. That's number 4. Let's see. Can you guess 3 and 2? Without scrolling.
I mean, one of them's got to be Sharknado.
No, Sharknado is not on this list.
Oh, really?
That's a huge swerve.
Okay, because these are... Okay, now I'm realizing. These are all serious shark movies.
Yes.
Because you also have a genre of comedic shark movies.
There is, yes.
Right?
There is, yeah.
So we'll
go through those, too.
These are all the most serious shark movies out there. Is Deep Blue Sea on there?
Deep
the first
Blue 3, Deep Blue... I can't say it. Number 3 is Deep Blue Sea, not to confuse with Deep Blue 3 C3. That's not
Deep Blue Sea 3. You got to say it 3 times fast.
Deep Blue Sea 3. But Deep Blue Sea is number 3, 1999, Smart Sharks, Jurassic Shark.
Jurassic Shark, Smart
Yes,
Sharks.
yes. LL Cool J sang a song, Deepest, Bluest, My Hat is Like a Shark's Fin. And he was actually in the movie, and he had a parrot for
Oh, yeah, I think
reason.
that was LL Cool J's first big role. When
Yeah.
he realized he was an actor.
Yeah, that was. He's like, oh, he could do this, and he's a good actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was good. To me, and this I would 100% agree with this. Number 2 is clearly the second best shark movie behind Jaws, and I 100% agree with this one. Is The Shallows from 2016. You didn't see this? So this was at a time where Alamo was still doing the Rolling Road show. And this was only like 1 or 2 years out of their very popular Jaws on the Water series.
Sure.
So they had The Shallows was going to premiere in this random lake in Austin. I got tickets and I was going to go, and we showed up there and it was just like so money. And they're like, oh, no, we canceled that. I felt like Clark Griswold, like, first one's here. Oh, man, no one's here. I was like, but we can't park. It's too muddy. And this guy comes walking out, eating a sandwich. And I remember specifically he was crumbling the bologna sandwich and the bread together and then eating it like popcorn. So it was somewhere down near the airport. And he's like, no, that's not happening today. He was just like, because it just came off one of those big rainstorms. And I was just so disappointed because I'd already seen Jaws on the water. I wanted to see The Shallows on the water. So I went right to the nearest Cinemark, jumped in and saw that, and was not disappointed. The only note you would have on this one was when they finally do show the shark, it's kind of like, oh, that's why Steven Spielberg didn't show the shark. Because everything else about it was great. Blake Lively, hands down, her best movie. Her best movie. She's a surfer, found this like hidden beach, surfs out there, accidentally stumbles on a whale carcass where there's a shark, and then she's bleeding, and then she makes it to a rock, and she has to try to, in this shallow water, make it to the shore without this shark getting her that's already kind of circling because of the whale blubber. I'm surprised you didn't see this one.
No, I just never got around to seeing that one.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yeah.
So number 1?
Oh, yeah, number 1 is Jaws, hands down.
Okay, yeah.
But I would say, yeah, I would put that, actually agree with IGN 100%. Jaws, The Shallows, Deep Blue Sea, The Meg, Sharknado, as like the ones that really stick in pop culture and will stand the test of time.
Can you dig it?